Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd of Bish's RV here with another model I've never had the chance to get my hands on before. This is the North Trail 271, and there's probably a good chance, or a reason I haven't had a chance to get my hands on this. I think this might be made for their Western production only. One of the things with North Trail is they do have Eastern Western production. Most of the videos that I put out, they come from Eastern built facilities, but you know, we have stores all over the place, and some of them do get their inventory from other locations, and I came out to our Meridian, Idaho location to get a couple of those today. So this floor plan is almost like this, it's an amalgamation of if two different rear living rooms that have been out for a while had a baby. So the old classic super slide rear living with a pair of recliners. When I first walked in, that's the first thing I thought of. But when I looked at the kitchen arrangement on this one, it actually reminded me a lot more of the RVs that have like a full rear dinette across from the kitchen and the entertainment. That's how it kind of read to me, but it's sort of somewhere in between. And what's interesting about this one, some builders make this with a walk-around bathroom like J-Feather. Some builders make it with a walk-through bathroom like Cougar or Imagine. They kind of did both. And I know that doesn't make sense because you do walk around the bathroom, but they extended that big slide and basically made like a double seating plus kitchen, pantry, refrigerator mega slide that goes all the way up the sidewall of this sucker, and it creates a wide open space. But what's kind of crazy is this thing only has like a 7,000-pound gross vehicle weight, and as you can tell, it's awful windy today, so hopefully that's not eating up the microphone. It's knocking over our little signage in the distance here. You probably couldn't hear that, though. The one thing I noticed with this, well, one major point of consideration as we go is the cargo carrying capacity in this one can be a bit of a concern. I'll expand on that more as we go. I want to share good with bad so that you know what you're getting for your money and if it might be the right one for you or not. And if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button, let us know what you think in the comments below, and let's get going. So like I said, there's parts of this that are going to feel, you know, different but familiar. Like you look at certain portions of this and you're like, oh, it's kind of like that camper. Then you look at different areas of it and you're like, oh wait, no, it's kind of like that camper. It's what I call a Franken camper, where it's a little bit of both of them. Now, I'm standing kind of in the hallway between the bathroom and the kitchen up to the bedroom, and I am just estimating that when we close the slides, I think we're going to lose the bedroom for road mode, probably the bathroom too. I don't know that for certain, but we're going to get there. And I'm going to show you a better example of this, but when I talk about removing the knee knocker pedestal posts on dining tables and putting in a set of free-floating folding legs, that right there is exactly what I'm talking about. Not the big, heavy elliptical base things, because you still bash your knees on those. I like those lightweight little folding legs because the table brackets to the wall, so it's very sturdy and stable, but there's less in the way, you know what I mean? Up top here, we have a slightly barreled ceiling. I don't use a fisheye wide-angle camera lens. I have it available, I just tend not to use it. I prefer things to look a lot more like you would actually see it with the naked eye when you come see them. And that really opens the space up in here. Now, this RV is available 50 amp. It is available with the second air conditioner. We're going to see that actually applied today, which is kind of cool. Now, the entertainment in this one, it's definitely very recliner and sofa focused. Now, I've got that TV on a slight angle right now because it is on a pivot mount. But if you want to make that TV face over here toward the dining, you can also do that too. Something else I want to give them credit for is squaring off that countertop by the door. A lot of builders who build a kitchen like this, they will cut it back a funky 45-degree angle, and I don't know. It's not that it's not counter space. It's just not the most effective counter space. When things are squared off like this, like, you know, we operate in like a square countertop society. I don't know how else to say it. They kind of split the difference between a little bit of drawer storage down there and the electric space heating Tootsie Toaster. So depending on where you have that TV, you can have it squared up straight across from the theater recliner here. Or if we've invited Bob and Carol or Ted and Alice over for the evening, you know, we have a perfect little place that we can have a little conversation corner here with some very respectable window coverage. The entry door doesn't have a viewing window. It's just a light bleed-through window, but you can see that beyond that, you've actually got pretty solid window coverage wherever they were able to do it. That does mean that the TV's mounted up a little bit high, but that's kind of one of those things that they had to do to be able to give you a campsite window over there. I don't know. What do you think of this this kitchen slash entertainment arrangement and how they interact with one another versus some of the other things that you've seen. I'd be kind of curious. That, by the way, is a air fryer oven down there. So you can use it like a normal propane oven or an air fryer mode. But they have maintained, you know, a full oven and a microwave. Now, I have a if I see something, I say something policy. I have noticed several instances of, we'll just call it gappy fit and finish in this. It's kind of a thing I've noticed on several North Trails, and I wanted to record more than one so I could see if it was maybe a little bit more of a recurring systemic thing, or if it was just a one-off thing on one RV I happened to look at. I respect the fact that you worked really hard for the money that you are considering spending, you know, and I want to also earn your respect. I want to have your respect, not just get your business, but earn it, if that makes sense. And sometimes I need to point out things that aren't awesome. And I've spotted a couple as I go through this RV. So I hope you appreciate that I'm trying to be fair here. The theater seat, depending on what you're looking for, if you don't like the population control middle fixed armrest in there, all three of those pieces can be switched around however you want. So if you want to take out the middle section and just have a love seat dual theater recliner, you can do that too. And then have a little bit of extra room over here, maybe to keep a couple TV trays or something. It's kind of funny. This is the same slide system that a lot of RVs use, but a lot of them have a longer carpetless flap hanging off of it. Whereas this one looks like it's levitating like David Blaine. It almost makes me question, is that slide all the way out? Yeah, it turns out that it is. That thing just really hovers above the floor right there. That's really weird. I've never seen one quite kind of do that. That's funny. Anyway, moving on a little bit from there. You know what? I think it's about high time we crack open all the different storage space in this one. Where do we want to begin? I don't know. Let's maybe start up here. So beginning with those upper cabinets right there, you can see that there's actually a pretty decent amount of storage in here. Keeping in mind that your main kitchen pantry is actually almost over in the hallway with the refrigerator. And that's what's really different about this floor plan, is that this RV has a theater sofa and dinette and refrigerator and pantry mega slide. It is a big, long slide out right there. Thankfully not on a Schwintek system. I don't like the service records I've seen on those on really big, long, heavy slide outs like this. The couple little details I noticed built right into the slide box next to the dinette. There is a light switch built on that refrigerator partition wall for the lighting above the dinette. Little details like that are actually little things that I appreciate, you know. The double drawers down below the pantry. I'm kind of curious, what would you put in those? I figure it's stuff you probably wouldn't want to use every day, but I love the fact that instead of you having to get on your hands and knees and reach down into a cavity that's rather deep and hard to access, they gave us drawers that open up. Granted, I get it, they're at ankle level, but they didn't waste the space, which is actually kind of nice. Now, before we get up to the bathroom, I do also want to point out, they're very good about being, like, you know, carpetless and no floor vents. And by the way, like, under the recliners, you might have seen, like, this funky thing, like, at a weird angle. They ship these basically with an extra remnant of the carpetless slide flooring so that, you know, in shipping in transit, it doesn't bounce around and scuff the floor. You may choose to use those as an owner, maybe not. And again, by the way, this TV is a, you know, pivot around kind of television here. So if you really want to make it face the rear recliners, you can absolutely do that. I don't think it's a smart TV or anything, but you're just like a fire stick away from making that happen. Oh, by the way, a bunch of the power outlets in this are inverter prepped. So where, if you're looking around, I'll teach you how to fish. You see that little white sticker above the outlet right there? It says Sol. That, by the way, that's one of the words for sun, you know, in the history of our many human languages. That tells you that is inverter prepped. I also love the little doggy puppy nose single drunken octopus towel hanger right here. I'm kind of curious with these sort of just wood panel doors. Has anyone ever had a problem with this degrading with a damp towel hanging across it, or is that just more of a theoretical problem and not a practical one? I don't know. I tell you what, that bottom open cavity down there on the left, I would use that for a wastebasket holder. I think that would be absolutely perfect for something like that. That open face storage will be okay for stuff like towels. I don't think you're going to want to use it for things like shampoos in transit. You want to take them down for transit. Now, that barreled ceiling, in the way that it works out in this floor plan, was just enough for me, a little bit over 6 foot, to stand in there. But as you could hear, radius showers, depending on how you stand and your personal stature, can be a little bit of an elbow banger. Now, I think how you feel about the fluffy friendliness of this toilet may vary based on your personal size and stature. If you are a right-handed person, you're going to find it just fine. If you're a left-handed person, that's going to be problematic. You might have noticed that recliner twisted. I'm getting myself kind of ahead of the game so I can close the slide out for road mode in a few minutes here, and you're going to want to do that to that floor plan. But first of all, as I back up here, this makes it a better angle to point out where the TV hookups are located in the bedroom off to the side. And they have to kind of do that because the entire wall is a sliding door across from the bed. And again, you can get this with the optional second air conditioner exactly like you're seeing here. Now, the second air, it looks like direct dumps into the bedroom. It does not centralize through everything, so you want to kind of keep that in mind. This is a 72 by 80 factory king bed. There is a little bit of storage below it. I don't normally open a lot of storage like this on camera, but it occurs to me I forgot to get you some footage of it, and it's not exactly hard to get down here. So it's kind of like a top foot locker, although it doesn't have any sort of gas struts. But if I can do it with just one left arm, with my, nerd guy chicken arm kind of arm strength here, I think you can do it too. If you don't want the king bed, you want to go to a queen, all you got to do is trim a little bit of that woodwork down and you can do it. But because they have a monstrously large front pass-through storage, King Kong size they call it, you're always kind of climbing into bed no matter what. Now, you've got those inverter-prepped household outlets down here on both sides, but one of the things that's very cool, I really like how they do that radius cutaway headboard power pocket with the USB plugs back there. That's nice. That's really smart. The storage over the bed is cool that it's there, but wah, wah, no struts or anything like that. So, like any RV, I feel like this has some good... Ooh, hold on. I meant to point this out earlier. It has some good points, and it has some not awesome points. Like, again, just the general fit and finish here. If I see something, I say something. And I hope you appreciate that the kind of things that I'm pointing out here are the kind of things that may cause somebody not to buy this RV. Again, we're pointing these out because we respect you. We respect how hard you've worked for your money, and we want to earn your business when the time is right, not just get your business, you know what I mean? And for transit, this is just about what I predicted. I figured by the time the slide closed, the dinette would pretty much block everything off here. It might be possible, I haven't tried it, if you're willing to climb over that dinette and you're a super skinny mini, you might be able to squeeze your butt through there, but I'm not going to call that travel accessible. What this one does offer is, well, really, you don't have access to the refrigerator, the bathroom, or the bedroom. You could stop and use your countertop space. Like if you went through a drive-through, you could have your own personal private little dining area. But this is definitely a model made for being there, not for getting there.
Now, as we step outside here, we need to have a very important, serious talk about the weights and measures that you're looking at on screen. The weights and measures you're looking at on screen are what I retrieved from the manufacturer's website, which indicates this RV has over 1,200 pounds of available cargo carry capacity. That's okay. It's not great, but it's not awesome. However, the actual physical RV that we're looking at here in person, its scaled weight tags are saying that it weighs about 500 or 600 pounds more than the estimated base dry weight off the website. Which means with a 7,000 pound GVW, this big trailer we're looking at has barely over 600 pounds of cargo capacity, less than 700 pounds of available cargo capacity. Especially out west here where people boondock a lot and need water in the tanks, that's a major problem. So I feel strongly this is an RV that could potentially deal with a little bit of a bulking up on the GVW. Now, sometimes that's not as simple as just, what do I want to say? Just increasing the axle rating. Oops, I left that battery box on right there. I don't want to cook that sucker. So one of the things I'm going to do is actually we're going to pivot and come over here and talk about the vault. This is basically a battery disconnect on steroids to avoid parasitic load from eating up the battery when you don't want to use it. Now, they employ a lot of aluminum framework and lamination in this, everywhere really except the floor. The floor has a 5/8 tongue and groove plywood floor decking, and the idea there is to avoid soft spots, but like the roof, the walls, those are laminated, and your sidewalls are actually a single layer Asdel. Now, as Mr. Kong over here is indicating to us, we have a large front pass-through compartment on these with big doors on both sides, which I really like. Now, over here, you have your solar disconnect, your TPMS prep, and your charge controller, as well as inverter prep. Now, what's interesting is the charge controller will always be there, even if the solar is not. Because one of the funny things they do at Heartland with a lot of their RVs is they actually make them solar ready, not solar prepped. And the difference there, solar prep means maybe they put a plug on the roof and then you have to finish up the rest of it. Heartland actually goes ahead and runs the wiring and installs the charge controller, but by default does not have a solar panel. So it's a true plug-and-play solar ability. Now, you may notice there's actually a solar panel on top here. There's two solar options with this company, a single 190-watt panel, which is what we're looking at right now, or you can get two of those with a 2,000-watt inverter from the factory. So keep those in mind. Now, this is the Norco AccuSlide system that we're looking at right here. One of the benefits of that is it's lightweight, and it does not, have a ram bar into the belly, so that it allows for more, holding tank space down here. This is a heated enclosed cavity, by the way. I've got a whole video talking about the ups and downs and ins and outs of different slide systems, by the way. It's not exclusively a only benefit kind of thing. Like overriding one of these slides is not always, well, any slide really is not the most fun, but some of the service records on those some people don't like. Now, I'm looking down here, and I was pointing out the fact that your gate valves are enclosed up in the underbelly. The location of the sewer outlet, though, is just under the slide out. Some folks may not love that. But I'm looking at this gray box with some of that wiring kind of exposed. Is there some, maybe that's okay, I don't know. But is there supposed to be a cover on that? I will say visually, looking at that, I don't like the look of that. And once again, I hope you appreciate how candid I'm willing to be on this. I'm not just a sunshine and roses kind of guy. I try to look at this stuff as though I were going to be the person buying it. How would I feel when I look at stuff? Now, we're going to slide between these trailers here. Not a whole lot to look at in this direction, but for some reason I felt compelled to move the camera down that way. Sorry about that. Does not have a roof ladder. It is a walkable roof, though, and they do prep it for that telescopic removable kind of lippert ladder sort of thing. Now, if you look up top above the North Trail logo, you see a black funny box up there. It is rear camera prepped, but the fact is you can put a rear camera on nearly any RV. All of your tires on this, including the ones on the ground, they are a import tire. They're not like a Goodyear or something like that. If that's a really important item for you, you might want to factor a tire swap into your total cost of ownership kind of factors. Or, I don't know, maybe consider a different brand. I don't know, that's totally up to you. We have all kinds of different things, and they all have ups and downs, you know. The awning on this feels like maybe they could have extended it forward a little bit, but the thing is, it's not bad awning space, actually. It covers the entry door very nicely. Even on a bit of a rainy day, the door is not exactly in the middle of the awning, but it's not dead on the side where you're going to get spritzed in the face a lot. That's not terrible. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but these do have power stabilizers all the way around standard. So everything on this is kind of push-button simple, easy, and convenient. And back here, oh, it's dangerously close to being a propanus where the gas comes out the backside. But technically, that's a propane cooker hooker because the propane hookup is coming off the sidewall of the RV. But, whoo boy, that's a close one. The tire setup on this, they are using a wide stance stability axle system, which is something I like because that can, you talk to a lot of RV delivery drivers, they'll say that, man, you know, the trailer handled really nice with that system. It wasn't bucking and chucking near as much as many of the other things. I don't love the outside speaker location. Frankly, I don't really like a lot of outside speakers on RVs, period. But that's just me. I'm kind of a grumpy old man of a middle-aged dude when it comes to that stuff. Black tank flush is over here, not on the other side of the RV, and you're thinking, why? That's stupid. Think of the other side of the RV where it's a giant mega slide, and you realize that there's nowhere to put a black flush on the other side, so they had to put it here. And you do have a full hot-cold outside utility shower, which is not a bad thing. So let me know what you think. I've tried as very fairly as possible. I think that you've seen where I've pointed out good, bad, ugly, and everything between. I'd like to hear the same from you. Where did they nail it? Where did they fail it? How could they improve? And what would you keep and never change about her? Let me know. I'll leave you links in the description to check, of course, for pricing and availability. And maybe some of those other similar floor plans that I've recorded, I'll drop you some links down there. Short of that, thanks again for tuning in, hanging out with old Uncle Josh here. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.